Padma Shri is a senior dietitian. She's in the industry for the past 15 long years, probably more than that. And she's a registered dietitian, a nutrigenomics counselor. She's into inpatient counseling, into corporate wellness training, content writing. I can go on and on telling about her. Her list is super long. So I'm going to cut it short a little bit, and I would ask you to connect with her on her handle and find out more about her. Um, so once again, a warm welcome to you, Padma Shri.
Thank you. Thank you. Very, very happy to be here.
Glad to have you on. So can we start with the session today?
Sure.
I have a list of questions, and I'm sure a lot of these dietitians who are joining us right now will have questions too. Let's start with the basics. What is an RD, or who is an RD?
All right. So RD is abbreviation for registered dietitian, right? So registered dietitian or RD is a title that is given to all those applicants who successfully clear the RD exam, which is conducted by the RD board of the Indian Dietetic Association. And the exam is conducted once every year. So if you manage to clear that exam with the minimum marks that are required to clear, then you'll be given the title of RD.
So who can become an RD? Can I become an RD?
Yes. So anybody who is a graduate or a postgraduate, or in fact not or, it's graduate and postgraduate in nutrition and dietetics for 3+1 years of education background becomes eligible for RD. So then you will have to do a 6 months hospital internship under a registered dietitian to actually become eligible to give the exam.
So let me just quickly run through. So you need to be a graduate in nutrition. You need to have either post-graduation or master's in.
Correct. So in your graduate also, you need to have a minimum of at least 3 of the following subjects, which is biochemistry, human nutrition, human physiology, diet therapy, and clinical dietetics. So any 3 out of these 5-6 subjects should be there in your graduate program. Then you can go ahead and do your postgraduate, which can either be a postgraduate diploma for a year, or it can be a master's, which is for 2 years. Again, specializing in nutrition and dietetics.
And then you need a 6 months of internship under a registered dietitian.
Correct.
In a
multi-speciality setup. Yes. In a multi-speciality hospital setup. Yes.
Okay. So now that we have cleared the prerequisites, how does one apply for this, or when does these exams for the RD happen? What is the procedure for that?
Right. So the exams usually happen in the second week of February, first or second Saturday of February. And the forms for example, the forms for 2021 exams came out in September 2020. And you have till about end of November to submit your forms. So you need to keep a lookout. Am I audible? I think your screen
is Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So the announcement is made on the IDA website, which is www.idaindia.com. You need to look out for this announcement, and then you need to fill in the form. But you need to be a life member of IDA to be able to even submit your form. Okay. So let me get this straight. So for this year, the forms will come out in June. You need to the announcement comes out in June. The forms come out in September to November. Yeah. Perfect. In September, the forms come out. You have till end of November to submit the completed form. Perfect. Thank you so much. Now that we have filled the form and we are going to apply for the exam, how do I prepare for it? Well, I generally recommend that you finish giving your RD exam immediately after you finish your, post-graduation, so that you are in the phase, in that mode to study, and everything that you've learned during your college is fresh in your mind. A lot of, in my experience, I've seen that a lot of girls actually, have their other goals set. people at home are asking us to get married, we want to settle down, or somebody wants to gain a little more, experience. Um,
Correct.
they want to work in a hospital setup and they want to gain more experience. Well, what I have noticed is, things like biochemistry and things like human physiology and all are, they can kind of evaporate from your head if you take a break. So it's
I
always
agree.
better if you have a choice to kind of finish giving your RD immediately after your post graduation is over. Because, anyways, after your post graduation, you have to do an internship, right? So once you finish that internship, you can then either continue in the same hospital for the next 6 months for the RD internship, or you can, apply to another setup just to get a varied experience.
Correct.
So on the IDA website, they've given a list of hospitals that are, approved by the RD board, where you
Fantastic.
can do your internship. So one of those hospitals you can pick, whichever is geographically closer to you, or the choice is yours. So you need to give an application to the hospital dietitian, the dietetics department, and then once you get selected, you can start your internship there. So your preparation for RD exam begins in your internship, or from the day one of your internship, if you really ask me. So you get a lot of practical experience when you work in the hospital setup, and you also have your theory in your head because you've just finished your master's and or your PG and you've come out, So you can put the two together, and then you gain a lot of experience. Like, you see a patient in the hospital and you suddenly recollect, this I had studied. So this can go wrong in this, and this modification I need to do in the diet. So when you do that over a period of time, it kind of becomes like muscle memory, Then
I
you are
agree
much
to
more
that.
prepared. Then you're much more prepared. Yeah.
So I would totally agree to this because after graduation, I went into an MBA and then I went for my master's. And when I had to go back to master's, biochemistry, my God, it was like, oh God, I have to start right from scratch. But of
Yes.
course, it was my passion, so it was easier. But yes, it was kind of tough. So anyone, like you said, anyone who's looking to get into RD, just do it immediately right when you're right out of college. Makes your
But
life very easy.
honestly, a lot of people are not able to do it for various reasons, Like I
Yes,
said, could be that they need to start working immediately for financial reasons or personal reasons, I know of a friend who got married when we were in our, when we were doing our PG, and she conceived right after. So there was no chance that she could give the RD exam immediately.
correct.
So then there is also another option where you can probably start working in a hospital setup. And if you
Okay.
manage to complete 5 years of work experience in a multi-specialty setup, again in hospitals which are approved by the RD board, at the end of 5 years, you still become eligible. Then you don't have to do your 6 months internship.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So they've
So then,
actually considered these
yes,
factors.
yes.
Hmm.
I remember
You
that
want
when
to add on?
I gave my RD exam way back in 2003. There was also an option where very, very senior dietitians, in fact, my mentor and a lot of other senior dietitians who've completed 20 years of service, actually were
Okay.
given honorary RD.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
remember there are a lot of such dietitians. Even in
yes,
Mumbai, you have a lot of them. I've
yes,
met them personally.
yes.
Um, yes. Now, can we move to the next question, or do you
Sure.
want to add on something more? Share your
No,
experience.
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Okay. The next question that comes is, if I am an RD or if somebody becomes an RD, does that mean they will just be working in a hospital?
Of course not. Definitely not. It's not. See, the RD syllabus, if you see, has been designed in such a way that it makes you ready to work in a hospital setup.
Correct.
But then again, that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that sick people are there only in the hospital, right? We have a lot of people who desperately and who definitively require diet therapy and diet intervention even outside the hospital setup. So
Correct.
if you clear your RD, I can say that you are definitely ready to take on cases, any kind of cases for that matter, because RD syllabus kind of gives you like a wholesome insight into what all goes into clinical dietetics or diet therapy. So it's a
Absolutely. I
choice
totally
you
agree.
make. It's a choice you make. If you want to work in a hospital setup, yes, then you're ready. If you're, if you've cleared your RD exam. If you don't want to work in a hospital setup, you choose not to work there. Like my own example, I finished my RD right after my post graduation, and other than the internships that I did, the 3 months internship post graduation and the 6 months RD internship, I haven't worked in a hospital setup even for a single day.
I was just going to say that. I mean, you should give your example.
Yes, no. So I
That's
haven't worked in a
really
hospital
amazing.
setup. Again, for me, it was for medical reasons. I was not allowed to work in a hospital setup. But then again, I think that RD exam really gave me a lot of clarity, even when I'm dealing with my clients right now.
Yeah. So basically, if you're an RD, you can start your own private practice, work in a hospital, a polyclinic, be a freelancer, content writer. The scope is unlimited.
Absolutely. Definitely. Most definitely.
It's only the limitation is only in your head. If you
Yes.
put limitation, that's where you're going to get stuck.
Right.
Now, I'm going to go to a little controversial question. Controversies are always there. So, RD is by the Indian Dietetic Association. Now, the Indian Dietetic Association is not really a government registered body. So, does RD have that much value? Is it a must to do RD?
Well, honestly, so when you ask me about value, there are, a couple of different perspectives that you can see. One is, do you plan to go abroad? If you're planning to go abroad, then the RD of India doesn't really hold a lot of value outside. You still have to go there, appear for their exams, and then get their certification and stuff. So it doesn't really work when you go. But then, like I said before, that it's not just about whether it is required or not. It's about trying to get the complete understanding of how the human body works, the different aspects of it, so that you can be a good dietitian, irrespective of whether you want to look for whether this title is worthy of it or not. So like now, if you ask me maybe 10-12 years back, I would have told you that don't do RD. If you are really good at what you do, if you know your stuff, if you have the technical knowledge, go ahead and start practicing. You don't really need an RD.
Correct.
But if you ask me today, I know that the RD syllabus has been designed in such a way that it really forces you to dive deep into every aspect of it. Like you said, biochemistry is an Achilles heel for so many people. Like even for a lot of juniors who have approached me in the past years saying, ma'am, we can do anything else, but biochemistry nahi hota humse. But unless you master biochemistry, unless you understand how biochemical reactions happen inside your body, your diet therapy is of very, very little value.
Okay.
So when you give an RD exam, you're kind of forced to learn all this, and this learning will actually hold your hand throughout your practice whenever you're practicing.
So, there's a comment here. It states the Indian Dietetic Association is a government registered body. It is registered under the West Bengal Association Act.
Okay.
What the IDA currently does is BA. Doesn't have is the council, which they are working forward for. Sukda Bhate. I'm sorry if I'm read
Sukhada, right?
Sukada. I'm really
Yeah.
sorry if I've taken your name wrong.
So
But
Sukhada is part of the IDA,
yes,
Mumbai chapter. So
absolutely. So she is well aware about that.
yeah.
Thank you for giving the clarity in that question. It came through one of our polls, and we had to just take it up. So that's the questions that we have for RD. Apart from all of this, I would like to add on, I think from whatever you have described, RD is more of a hands-on training. When you do the internship for like 6 months in a multi-speciality hospital, you're actually getting exposed to all the departments. You're getting to search, to experience, to explore the area in which you would like to flourish. So when today we talk about branding and creating your own
Niche.
brand,
Yeah,
niche becomes very important, and I think RD gives you an exposure to all the departments where you can choose what is your niche. It could be pediatrics, it could be renal, it could be onco, and again, it's your choice as to where you want to. Do you want to niche down? But that's what I would say. Don't limit yourself. Don't look at the pros and cons. If it's helping you grow, just go do
exactly.
it.
Exactly.
That's
It
very
makes you like a
important.
well-rounded dietitian, definitely. So one glaring advantage I feel is if you look at our syllabus, whether it is our graduate degree syllabus or it is our postgraduate syllabus, we don't, one very important subject that we don't deal with in detail is how to interpret blood chemistry.
Okay.
Okay, so we are not taught that during college. This is one thing that
Correct.
is so important. When a patient walks into your cabin, even in your private practice, when a patient comes to you, when a client comes to you and comes with a blood test and tells that, look at this, you don't even know what you're looking at if you don't
Correct.
have that kind of exposure in a hospital setup, or then if you're not lucky enough to get that, then you will learn over the years. But in a hospital setup, you get this kind of hands-on practice of reading blood tests, of interpreting them, of correlating them to, what is going on inside the body, what biochemical parameters are getting, deranged, how we can address that with the diet is something that that kind of becomes a part of you when you work in a hospital setup.
I totally agree to that because you don't they people don't have time when you're working on the job to sit and teach you. Not everybody is that lucky. I had amazing seniors who took the time and effort to make me understand ki, okay, this is how you read a report. We were taught by our professors also, though not that much in detail, but yes, RD would definitely give you that insight and give you that more clarity into reading the reports more confidently. There is a question. I was expecting this. Somebody's asked for tips.
Tips for preparing for the exam.
Yes, for the exam.
I wish I had like a checklist to tell you, but you have to start at least 6 to 8 months before, because it is a vast syllabus. It is going to take time for you to put together all the study material first. Start collecting the study material first. Have the syllabus in your hand and keep kind of tick marking everything that you have in hand. Most people, if you're doing it immediately after your postgraduate degree, then you would have most of the notes with you, but still there are some that may be missing. So you'll have to go reference study materials. You'll have to probably beg, borrow, steal from your friends or colleagues and put together the study material first, and then get a timetable in hand. You are the only person who knows how much time you're going to allot every day, whether it is 2 hours or whether it is 4 hours or whether it is 6 hours. And most people, like I said, either are doing internship or are working, so you don't have the liberty of time. So you need to plan much in advance as to how much time I'm going to give. So if I'm going to give 2 hours every day, then I need to give those 2 hours every day, because it's going to take
Right.
that kind of dedication, that kind of sincerity to be able to complete the entire syllabus. And a lot of juniors come and ask me that, ma'am, any important subject, can we afford to skip this? Can we afford to skip that topic? Honestly, no. Because if you have seen the RD question papers for the last 10 years, there is no fixed pattern. It is never that microbiology is more important than physiology, or FSM is more important than community nutrition. No, it doesn't work that way.
I
Every
was
year the paper is
actually
different.
I was actually going to ask you, can I just refer back to the last 10-year questions
No,
and make
no,
sure that
you
I can
can't.
be ready for the exam?
Very rarely questions are repeated. So and they truly test how much knowledge you have. So if you clear an RD exam, I can say with confidence that now you're ready to set up a diet department from scratch in a hospital, because the RD syllabus actually gives you that kind of experience, that kind of
Correct.
knowledge. So there is really no subject that is important and something that can be, that you can afford to skip. No. There are some which are quite easy, like biochemistry, for example. You need to write. You need to write and practice. Nothing really, sits in your head as well as written practice. A lot of girls think that I will read through and I'm done. And one more thing that I have noticed about, studying is most people prefer studying at night.
Okay.
Even though we are like, we come from a diet background, we don't understand that it doesn't really help. Your brain is getting ready to get switched off at night. So you can't really sit at night and expect to remember whatever you have learned with, loads of tea and coffee to keep them awake and all that. So I tell the girls this also, that, eat well, nourish your brain, because that really helps. If you're not going to apply whatever knowledge you've gained from, you're studying in your own life, then it really doesn't make sense, right?
Would keeping the book under my head at night help?
Well, that kind of osmotic learning doesn't work, I believe. Oh, I wish this happened, really.
Oh, we all have tried that at least once after
Yes,
reading those stories,
I know.
and I know it doesn't work. And
No,
yes, we
and
need to
now
practice.
because YouTube is there, and now there are so many learning resources. Like for example, glycolysis, the cycle, carbohydrate metabolism, the very first cycle. You go onto YouTube and you just type, tips to remember glycolysis.
Yes.
There are like zillions of videos, and they make it so easy that, I tell the girls that, go through, watch these videos, make videos in different, make charts in different colors, stick them where you can see them every day, exchange lists and all this. These things, you have to be constantly at it. This is not something you can do by the way. This is not something you can do like, हाँ जब time मिलेगा तब करेंगे, नहीं मिला तो ऐसे. You cannot clear the exam. Take it from me. You cannot clear the exam if you give a
Correct.
half-hearted attempt. It's not gonna
I
happen.
think when you're doing keywords, shorthand, mind mapping is the easiest way to study,
Absolutely.
because the
Absolutely.
syllabus is so huge. You just need quick stuff to just go through every day, and you just brush up things. I wish they had taught us mind mapping
Mapping.
back then.
True, true.
It's
I wish
now
they
like
taught mind mapping right from school days. Forget teaching us.
yes,
Mind mapping, mindfulness are stuff that children should be taught right from school days. And one more
absolutely
thing, I just wanted to add to the whole tips thing is, don't do it subject wise. Like what girls do is, first I'll finish biochemistry, then I'll start human physiology, then I'll do nutrients. Don't do that. You're taking carbohydrates, study the entire Mahabharata of carbohydrates. Start from
correct.
nutrients, go to biochemistry, understand physiology. So you are like thorough, then now you're like an expert in carbohydrates. कि carbohydrates में कुछ भी पूछो आना चाहिए. So when you do that kind of connected thing, any kind of tricky question and you'll be able to answer.
Yes. I think that's what we do currently now after all these years of experience.
Yes,
But
yes,
if they would have told us earlier that makes learning much more easy, I think, again, it's like mind mapping. We would
precisely.
have been in a better place. But then again, probably we were not ready to learn it that way
No,
that time.
I know. So that is why I said that sometimes it works in your favor if you don't give the exam right after your post graduation as well, because you gain that kind of experience and you know where you're lacking.
Absolutely.
You have your questions ready in your head by the time you pick up your book to read, and then when you read, all your questions get answered, and then you get these aha moments saying, this is how it works. So it works. Both the options have their own pros and cons for sure. And like you rightly said, if only our syllabus, like our, at the degree and the post graduation level, if only they taught us how to apply what we learned. That is
Yes.
something that's missing big time. We don't know how to apply our knowledge.
I totally agree to that. And I've been, whenever I was asked, I would say that is the one thing that I really would want in the system, that we need those internship in between the second year and the third year. We need those field visit, the IV trips. They need to happen so that you understand what is the practical aspect and what is the theory aspect, because there is a huge difference between both the
Definitely.
things.
And
So,
and
yes,
honestly, by the time you finish your education, whatever you have learned, even the guidelines, would no longer be applicable for all you know.
Yes.
Because we are in a field where things are changing every single day.
Every day.
Every single day. So you need to be updated. You need to be extremely passionate about this field. You cannot really be a dietitian just because, just because. That doesn't happen. You have to want to be a dietitian. You should want to be able to heal people with food. Otherwise, no, it doesn't make sense at all. Then you wouldn't be doing justice to yourself, to the profession, or to your clients.
I totally agree to that. And I think everyone who's a student here, they need to make a note of that point. It's very, very important. You can't do things half-hearted. It has to
Yeah,
be all or nothing, right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
So, looks like there are no more new questions for us. And do you have some, last minute important tips, pointers, or keywords, or a note that you would like to give out to the listeners right now?
So, see, the girls are going to give their this year's exam next Saturday. So, what I want
Oh,
to tell all of them is just that you have learned everything. It's all there in your head. If you paid even, 50-60% attention during your college lectures, during your internship, it's all there. What is causing the panic and what makes you think that you don't remember is the anxiety, is the stress. So cool down, de-stress, meditate if you can, and go with a confidence. Positive visualization helps. Visualize that you're doing the exam well, and that you are a successful dietitian, and that you're able to help people with your skills. And really, anxiety kind of defeats the purpose. So please don't be anxious, don't be nervous. Have faith in yourself and go give your best to the exam. That's what I want to say.
I'm going to say a best of luck to all those who are appearing for the exam. She's already told you what you need to do. I'm going to just say, just relax, breathe, and go give your exam. You're going to crack it amazingly. Don't worry. You
Yes.
work too hard for all of that.
Yeah.
Now, for the ones who are going to apply in June, do you have a tip for them by any chance? Any
Stay in
tips for them?
touch. Stay in touch with the field. Read up about these subjects every day. Don't just wait like till the last minute to start preparing. Keep studying every single day, little something. Pick up a topic and read up. And like I said, start collecting the notes.
Yes.
Put your folders in order. You need to get all the notes in one place before you really start, because girls panic at the last minute saying, "Arey, ye nahi hai, do you have this? I don't have this." So don't do that. Put your notes together first, and then sit down and plan your study schedule.
I am going to add a little point to that. I always
Sure.
like to have the last word. so, so I'm going to just tell you that seniors in the field are really approachable. They come out of the way to come and help you. If you need help, guidance, you can reach out to people. Uh, there's a way in which you reach out to us. We will help you. Drop in a DM, connect with us on Instagram, on Facebook, and we'll try and help you out, or at least guide you to amazing people like Padmashri who will help you out with all your questions regarding RD.
Sure.
So, looks like there are no more questions for now. Um, should we end the chat? Is that okay? Or do you have any last things to say for us?
No, I think I covered basically what all I wanted to convey. I'm sure eventually there'll be questions, so we can always come back and answer those. So
Yes. So if you have any questions, you can keep dropping them in the comments or send us a DM and I will get your questions answered right away. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the listeners who are patiently listening to us. For good luck to the budding dietitians and the RDs who are going to give the exam on Saturday. I'm calling you RDs because I know you are going to clear the exam.
yes,
Yes?
I like that
Good
attitude.
luck. Good luck. Thank you so much. It was great having you here.
Thank you so much. It's always fun catching up with you. And I want to say a special thank you to Sunita ma'am, who has posted in the comments that she's proud of both of us and that it is a lovely and an informative session. So mentors like her keep the hope alive. So come join us, future RDs, in the attempt to make India a healthier nation. We are all
Yes,
waiting
please do.
for more members to add to the
More
tribe.
the merrier. Yes.
Yes.
So thank you and have a great day, guys.
See you. Bye bye. Have a good Sunday evening, everybody.